Hello and welcome everyone to eBay Shopping Show, Episode 7. I almost called this Cybercast. Since it's been so long, I'm not used to saying eBay Shopping Show. But today we are talking about G1s and Masterpiece. So we're going to be taking a look at quite a few items. We're going to take a look at some rare items. We're going to take a look at some KOs, some deceiving eBay buyers, because I know you guys always enjoy looking at those, and we're going to be poking fun at some stuff, just how they try to deceive us, and we're just too smart for them. Or at least we think we are. But anyways, Jaim, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people all of the other shows that we do.
Yeah, I'm Victory Saber 77. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube, and we have a couple of other shows. We have the Cybercast, which is on every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and this week's Cybercast will have Pete Sinclair on there, so definitely check that out. And then we also have the Aftercast, which is on my channel at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
All right, and you can find me, G1 Hextron, on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook page is the G1 Hextron. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this, but I guess we would mention that it has been a while since we've done one of these eBay shopping shows, and I know there's been a lot of you guys that said that you enjoy it and you get something from it, whether it's a laugh or maybe you learn something. We like to provide that, but it really depends on how many people watch it. And for right now, we were doing it every other week. For right now, we're going to push it to just once a month. And if things seem to keep on going good, then we'll just keep on with that schedule. If not, then we'll see how it goes. So we'll play it by ear. But let's go ahead and get into the first thing here. Let's go ahead and get on the eBay. What am I not doing right? Okay, there we go. Acting like it's my first time screen sharing. Jeez. All right, so first thing is, my birthday is March 1st, Jaim, and I've been telling you about this guy for a while. I know you know about him. He is only $7,000. Well, in U.S., that's about $5,700, I guess you could say. He's going to charge you $15 for shipping after you.
Yeah, that amazes me. Gonna spend that much? I guess it's just pennies on the dollar. What the hell? You're already spending that much money on it, but yeah, the good old Black Shadow there, the remolded, redecoed version of Thunderwing. I don't know. That's a lot of money.
It is. And for the most part, this looks in pretty good condition. I mean, you look there, on the, God, what am I thinking? The clear part, what's it called?
The window?
Yeah, the window. Man, I've been up since 7 p.m. yesterday, so I'm a little tired. But the window, I mean, it's clear. Doesn't have any yellowing there. The foam looks nice. From here, this average shelf wear, I guess you could say. The back, you see that crease going across here, so you'd rather not have that. But this and Blue Brachus,
Blue Brachus, yeah.
Brachus, okay. In my opinion, these are probably two of the most rare G1s. Would you agree with that, or are there any other ones that you think are maybe a little bit more rare? I mean, Dino King. The real Dino King, not Munstructor.
Yeah.
He's up there as well.
I would say these are probably, right up there with rarity. As looking at the ones that were just released to mass retail, not the exclusives. But yeah, definitely these are two rare ones to find. Really nice too. But especially Black Shadow.
Now, do you have these yet? Do you have these yet?
No, I don't. Not yet.
No. Well, this guy, he has quite a few of these rare items that we like. He's got another one here, Metal Hawk, and I think it was going for the same price. Yeah, $5,700 and $80 shipping for him. Wow. Well, but you do have this one.
Yeah, I do have that.
What do you think about that $5,700 price?
Little steep. I'm almost tempted to sell mine if I can get that much for it, but
I know you should add this to your watch list, and if it sells, then you know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even applied my stickers to mine yet and all that, so um, yeah, really nice. For a figure that's really great to have, I mean, since I love Master Force, but the robot is a little, could be a little better, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just sad to see that, if you watch, let's say, Master Force or Victory, some of the Japanese series, and you're like, oh man, I would love to get that character. And then you go out, and if you can even find one, that's a big deal right there. And then when you do find one, you're like, oh dang, um, okay, it's a cost of like a small used car.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, well, I guess I'll just have to not have that, or maybe, you know, build one myself. You have a better chance just buying a 3D printer and trying to come up with one on your
I mean,
own.
it costs more than my car.
So, yeah.
But there
I mean,
are a
Metalhawk at
couple
least
of
has
rarities.
diecast.
Here's another one that we've taken a look at before. This one a little bit more reasonable. I still think it's a little too much. Other one, $7.90, $38 shipping. And you got Galaxy Shuttle here.
Hmm. Yeah,
You can
that's a
see the little
little.
crease problem there as well. This one
Now, is this the one that
is
has a broken
no,
cap?
that's another one. This one I
Okay.
believe is fine. So I didn't even bring that other one up. The other one was missing its gun, and then it had like a broken tab or something like that. And they were still wanting big money. By the way, it's still available. So
Sweet.
I mean,
Galaxy
awesome looking
Shuttle's
figure.
great. Yeah, it's a nice figure, and it's the one. This is what I don't like about this figure, though, is the fact that it's a fantastic figure. It's expensive, but it's also white, and it just worries me that it's gonna turn yellow someday. And
And like we saw with the other one, they were wanting, I forget how much it was, like 450 or something, or 400 or 450. It was something ridiculous like that. And they were like, there was a tab broken and it was missing the gun, which is also, that tail fin piece
mhm.
right there. I don't know what type of fin that thing's called. Um, on a dolphin, is it a dorsal fin or something? But um, if you're missing that, then you're not going to have the gun in its robot mode. Then it's not going to look proper, and its Galaxy in its shuttle mode. But also to try to find that gun by itself is going to be extremely expensive. That you're best off buying just this one. That's 100% complete.
Yeah.
It's one of those weapons that if you don't have it, now you can't transform it all together properly. All right, the next thing that I kind of wanted to get into, not so much this figure or the price or anything like that, but the company that this is made by. Now we saw Hasbro do this several times. I mean, there's El Greco, there is some of the ones that we've looked at in the past. I forget the branding names. You had Milton Bradley here. Um,
You had Gig. You had
yeah,
Joustra.
yeah. So you probably know a little bit more about it than I do. I just know that you saw a lot of the stuff happen in Europe, and then you had Greece, you had France did it, Italy had stuff like that with the Joustra, I believe, and then you
Hmm.
also saw Argentina that this happened quite often, and those are kind of the main places that you saw these different things because someone that's probably just now getting into Transformers, and they're like, let me go backtrack. I really liked Hound in that new Bayformer film, so let me go backtrack and see if I can go pick up a original G1. They're probably looking at here and seeing Milton Bradley and thinking, wait, that's not who made that. It's Hasbro, so this is probably a knockoff, even though it's not. So,
Yeah.
uh, you want to share anything else on that?
Um, just the fact that Milton Bradley did a lot of the distribution over in Europe, I believe. They also, I think, merged with Joustra to because Joustra had exclusives to the Diaclone series also. and they merged with them, and they're just the distributor basically, and over there, and to not kind of like I remember some of the European when they did the classics line. They had the gold packaging, and some people think, well, this isn't, authentic G1 because it came out, later on down the road, but it is, authentic G1 stuff. It was just repackaged in that. And wow, that styrofoam's really beat up.
Yeah, it is. But one thing that that I wanted to kind of point out is the figure is still the exact same. So, like, if you had one that was loose and it was by whatever X, distributor, and one that was done, Hasbro, that you're not going to be able to tell just by looking at the figure. They're going to be exactly the same. And as you can see here on the bottom, it still says Card Japan 1980-82. So, yeah, it looks like he just, like, I don't know, took a pen and got mad at his packaging.
Yeah, I used to use the styrofoam back when I was a kid as GI Joe bases, so I like doing that.
You can plug the barrel of the gun in there. So
yeah, you could do a whole bunch of stuff. It was always fun. But yeah.
Now we do have a couple of topics. I guess one is going to be, the carded stuff. So as you can see, this guy has a G1 Slugfest Overkill. He puts mint on sealed card, very rare. Now one, he's asking 250 plus 7, so I guess 257 there. The problem that I have with this is, why won't this magnify? Oh. Anyways, if you can see here, the card is all beat up. All the corners look bad. This looks like it might even have a little bit of water damage. There's bends, creases all over it. And the way I always looked at, sealed stuff or carded stuff or box stuff, that if you're one of those collectors that buy that, you want to buy it because you're going to display it that way, and you're basically not going to buy something that's in bad condition. So if it is something that's in this bad condition, even though it is still mint, or it's still sealed on its card, it's not mint anything, but it's still sealed on its card, it probably should be sold as loose. Because if you send it off for grading, then they would tell you that, look, you're going to get an awful grade unless we grade this loose. Do you kind of think the same way, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, for me, if I was a mint sealed box, or I displayed all my stuff on card or in box, I would really want the packaging to be better. I mean, I get the fact that he's saying it's mint on sealed cards, so those figures are mint, never been touched. But as far as, I wouldn't buy this so I could just open them up so I could be the first one to kind of touch them and transform them and all that type of stuff. But I'd want to buy this for the sheer fact that I'm going to probably end up displaying it, or like what you said, going and grading it. But it's like going and getting a sports card that has like some corners that are bent and such. Unless it's a really, really old card that already is going to maybe grade not so high, but I just don't know. I don't know if it's even worth grading, because like what you said, they're just going to probably come back and say this is a really low grade. Maybe you just want to grade these individually out of packaging.
Yeah, and you get a higher grade and they'd be worth more. Because on your sealed stuff, or mint and sealed box or on sealed card, if you got a bad grading on it, then it's not worth no more than a really great condition loose figure, So it would be in the same thing. Like if you're one of those people that I'm buying this because I want all my stuff, sealed or carded, then you're not going to buy something like this because this is the way you're displaying it, and then it just looks awful. So
yeah, and it's a really high price. I would have, if I was going to do this, I'd be $250, but then I'd also have make me an offer. I wouldn't just have it as just a standard buy it now, because that's just a little extreme.
Oh yeah, it doesn't even have make an offer on there. Wow. All right, now we're going to take a look at these rare Transformers, which neither one of them have. well, the guy said that there are Transformers in here, so I don't know why he would lie to us. Is that even transformed properly? I have no idea.
Probably not.
I actually had this. This guy right here. This is one of those figures that. I guess I asked my like grandparents, like, yeah, will you give me this Transformer? And I wasn't very, specific on which character I wanted. So they were just like, oh, robot, car to robot, we'll get this guy. Yeah, this is basically what turns it. His head is the seats where people would sit. So you still got stuff like that. I mean, there was plenty on there. This is one that we were kind of looking at earlier. This guy says extremely rare. Third party custom. Now, it's a custom. Wouldn't you just put custom? I guess if you only made one, then it is extremely rare. It's only one of its kind. But 165 is a little overboard. Oh, and he's giving you a $20 discount. It was $200.
Wow.
But these are the little knockoff World's Smallest Transformers, and these things you can pick up for no more than $10 a piece. So
yeah, man. I don't like. I mean, the wording on there, I get it, but it's like me taking, let's say my Planet X Genesis, and I'm gonna use a Sharpie and put my name on it, and I tag it, and I say extremely rare, custom, third party because I put my name on it.
yeah,
no, I don't think so. It's not worth that much money.
It's just a custom World's Smallest KO Transformer Starscream. So
yeah.
Yeah, but he had a Sunstorm on here as well. Speaking
They look
of
nice, but yeah, no.
yeah, not $160 nice, but maybe $10 nice. I don't know.
$10, $15.
But these guys, they ended up, or some company, they ended up coming out with these Quintessons. Now, originally, there was a third-party company called Impossible that made all these Quintessons. So they made these guys. They made, what is it, the Executioner and the Guard and stuff like that. I don't know what all their names were, but
yeah,
these are knockoffs of those. And this is basically what Impossible Toys did. They had the little light up feature here, so they look really cool. And it was one of Impossible Toys' best things that they ever came out with. But these are just straight up knockoffs of those. And they say they're a third party production. They're just KOs. But what do you think about this right here? This adding tags in there so that Megatron, he's probably one of the most searched Transformers in G1, so it would help your cause for your little knockoff things to pop up or whatever you're selling. Like I always type in Transformers G1, man, there's animated stuff, there's Beast Wars, there's classics, like there was I was looking for rare Transformer G1, man, Night Beat that you can go pick up in stores on there. So people put whatever, as many tags as they can on these things to try to sell them, and this is one of those things where Megatron is one of the most searched ones, so let's put them on there.
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate, but from a seller's point of view, I mean you got to do what you got to do to get your product out there so people or eyes can see it, so you can sell it. But I don't really like that, because then for like me being a buyer, and I put in Megatron, or even just G1 Megatron, I'm going to get just a bunch of crap, like you said, that just doesn't really make sense, and there's no real way to filter it as specific as you want it to be. But I do think it's funny that's G1 Megatron's inventor, though.
Nobody else.
I mean, you didn't have to put inventor in there, but you just put G1 Megatron. But
for a while I've tried to think of ways to for it not to be so shady, I guess is the word. Maybe there's a better one out there, but when I type in Transformers G1 under action figures or toys, like 20,000 plus listings pull up. 12,000 of those are probably actually G1s.
Yeah.
Now, I wish there was, like, Transformers is so big now that, like, how if you go for, like if you went on to Auto Trader and you're like, I'm looking for, a Ford. It just doesn't pull up every single Ford that you can find. and it doesn't do it by search, or maybe it does. But you can go Ford and be like, okay, well, alphabetically, what kind of Ford is it? Okay, you select that one. Is it, this engine, or what trim is it? Stuff like that. That way, only those things pull up, and get rid of all this, loose third-party production transformers, all this jumbled mess that confuses people when it pulls up in their searches. But I'm looking for toys. What kind? Transformers. It's a big enough brand, You have He-Man, G.I. Joe, you have those, but the ones that, maybe aren't so big, because, there's tons of toy companies out there that, hey, maybe you just, you can type it in the search. But for us, it's like, hey, Transformers, G1, all G1 or Japanese or whatever, and have it subcategories like that to where it would make it so much easier, and you can only put it under one. So if I put it under G1, you can't put it under Beast Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Or Generations, like a lot of these Generation people do. They always put G1 Generations. Anyways, that's just something that gets a little under my skin. We were talking about, the Milton Bradley and some of these other companies. Now, this is one that the guy put in here, it's a card error. And the same guy, you can see that he's got one here, and he's got one here. Now, one of them is $200, and the other one is $100. I'm not really sure what the difference is here, but let's take a look at the $100 or $200 one. This is by El Greco, and you'll notice that it's brawn with, Huffer on there. Now, he puts in here it's rare, and I guess just to kind of flip through here. The thing that we were wanting to talk about is, how do you price stuff like this? Because if you took it out of package, which obviously if you had it in the situation, but how do you place a value on that? You have no idea how many were made. Like we saw, this guy's got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be 1,000 out there for all we know. It doesn't really make it rare, but I don't even know how you would price it, because I know sometimes they would screw up on like baseball cards, but there was Beckett back then that would tell you, hey, this is what this is worth. This is how many were done, and this is what this is worth. Well, in Transformers, especially G1, you don't really have anything like that that's absolutely accurate. You have some kind of help guides, but nothing that's completely accurate, and especially for things that are errors. So how do you think that you would price something like this? How does that even work?
Yeah, I don't know how you would. I would take what a sealed card, maybe something that's equivalent to it, of like, let's say Brawn back in the day, and see how much that would go for, and then maybe some other, because I know we got some errors here in the United States.
Yes.
Like the yellow cliff jumper and stuff like that. They were supposed to come out, but they, production flaw that they came out with that color, but see how much those go for and such. But it's really hard when you look at stuff overseas, because is this an error, or is this just the way they packaged it? And this is just how it is. And they were all packaged this way. It's an error because what we see here in the United States, we didn't get that. Yeah, it's really hard.
Because this was in Greece, so who knows? Guy in Greece, card dude. He's just like, looks like Huffer to me. Just threw those sheets in there and whatever. It just started making as many as it wanted. Maybe they're all like that. It's hard to know. Now, like what we were saying before, is if you would have took this guy off card, or somehow the card gets damaged and you're just like, all right, well, I'm taking him out now, or the glue comes undone to where now he's out, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between this Huffer and $5 Huffer that's on someone else's shelf. So you're not going to be able to tell the difference there. But on something that is a factory error, as far as painting, Cliff Jumper yellow, or Bumblebee red, or something like that you saw sometimes, that is always going to be like that. So in my opinion, that would be more, expensive, or carry its value no matter what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, unless the shade of orange is darker or something, but still, um, since it's an older toy too, that could just be attributed to fading, over time and all that too. If you're trying to distinguish it by color and all that, so yeah, it's really difficult.
All right, let's see. Before we, you know what? Let's go ahead and cover the. Well, let's go with this guy real quick before we get into those masterpiece bathing ape. All right, so this one is new G1 Transformer Shockwave reissue, ships from US with battery. And this is my favorite part. This is AKA not Quakewave. So, like, we see all the time to where, like, a third-party figure comes out, like, all right, well, this is Hexatron, AKA not G1 Shockwave. Or not Shockwave, but Six-Shot. And, like we saw today, that Unique Toys is going to have, oh, God, whatever his name is. Is it Filler?
Oh yeah, the
Octane?
Octane.
Yeah, so like you have whatever name he is, I just can't think of it off the top of my head, and then you're like, AKA not G1 Octane. Well, now you have them doing it in reverse. It's almost like the third party has risen more in popularity than the original.
Fans Toys have set the benchmark now, I guess. When we're going to see out there now, they're going to be doing Dinobots and they go, AKA not Scoria or not Sore.
Now, you may be looking at it and be like, hey, man, but it's a pretty nice deal. Well, one thing that we do know is Shockwave, or not Quakewave here, has never been reissued. It's never been encored. No other release than the original. It was originally done by a company called Toyco, which also was part of Toy Box that did your Triptychon, your Omega Supreme, your Skylinks as well. You got those on court, but we haven't seen this guy yet. Now, the one thing that I find really shady is I went through here and read every bit of this. And the way the guy, he never tells you that this is a KO, but he implies that like there's only one KO and that this is an actual reissue, and there's a KO one, but this doesn't look like that KO, So he says, notice the attached photo is what you will receive. Notice the barrel is gray, not KO purple colored barrel, and shown include in the window. I guarantee that the eye is gold and not bad KO silver. So he hasn't told you that this one's a KO. He's implying that there's a KO one out there, but it's not this guy. This is the reissue, and that's what I have a problem with. I mean, he goes all the way through this, and he's like, this is a reissue just like the original, but it's not one of those bad knockoffs.
Hey, I mean, I don't sell things on eBay, but like how much can you put in the description there? Like, or how many characters are you allowed? Because he goes into a nice speech about how, like, don't wait for stuff overseas and get, this and that and all this type of stuff. I'm like, wow. Warning, do not wait for a slow boat from overseas. Why waste the time to risk a lost or broken package or risk fly-by-night eBay sellers who appears for a month and disappear, leaving you holding the bag? Share your protected eBay PayPal.
It really says that because, I'm like, dude, I hear there's a local gold and pawn shop or whatever that says we're not like those fly-by-night gold and pawn brokers with a Johnny-come-lately with a sidewalk sign out in the middle of the street. That's basically what this says. And he's saying that, look, don't be fooled by these risky fly-by-night sellers. Dude, you're one of the ones that are being shady. What are you talking about? Oh, you know what? Go look this up and read this. This is a good read. I think you'll get a laugh out of this.
Yeah. It's a knockoff. I mean, it's not a reissue. So
We'll move on. Oh, that one's great. All right, let's go to the a little bit of information. Some of you guys may know, some of you may not. But the Bathing Ape by Takara. There's a couple of these up that are authentic. They are both within $50 of each other at $1,200. One's $1,200, one's $1,250. Forgot how much these originally went for. What was it, like $300 or something like that?
Yeah, it was around 300.
It's like around 300, and I was planning on getting one. They sold out. I forget how many. I think there's 500 of these made. Yeah, so you see that there's two authentics here. So there's that one. It's 1,200. Going a little bit further down, right here. This one's $1,200 and $45 shipping. So something I wanted to show you guys on this one, though. This is an authentic, and on the original MP10, you have like that molded on the left shoulder, his Autobot logo right here. Well, if you'll notice on this guy, that is removed and they replaced it with the Bathing Ape logo, the tampographed on there. And you see on his right shoulder, he doesn't have anything. So it's just the left shoulder Bathing Ape logo. Nothing else. And take a good look at these photos because you're going to see them again. But you can kind of see what he's being, displayed in the background and stuff like that. Now on the knockoff, one of these guys are saying that it is a KO in here, but we know people are shady, and there's going to be one guy that, that's going to try to push the envelope and not put that KO in there. And you're going to look at this right here. And you're going to be like, Takara, okay, looks good. And then look at these photos. We just saw these. These are stock photos. So they're using all the originals stock photos. Remember the gravel there? I mean, these are the exact same pictures.
Yeah, it's nice that they said KO, but yeah, it would be nice if they actually used different photos.
I mean, and because if you, like, we know what we're looking for. We're making sure that, that Bathing Ape right there is tampographed, the Autobot logo there. So we're like, okay, this is authentic, But whenever you get it in the hand, then you're going to have to, pay attention to it because, if they didn't put KO here, then, they're going to think that they pulled one over on you. Now there is another one. There's my boy up there. This one here, to where they put KO as well. If I can get to it, if it'll show. Okay, this is what I wanted to show off. If you remember the KO MP10s that came out a little while ago, they were in really good quality, and that's what this is made from. So if you like the quality on that, then you're going to get the exact same quality on this guy. But they did that embedded Autobot logo on the left arm on the MP10, so they use that same mold, and that's why you see on the left shoulder there that embedded Autobot logo instead of just the flat surface with the tampographed Bathing Ape logo. If you look over here on the KO, they put that Bathing Ape logo on the right shoulder. So that's how you tell whether you're getting a KO or you're getting an authentic version. But again, like we said, this other person that was selling a KO was using stock photos, and if they don't put KO in there, you don't know. So you need to make sure you pay attention, and also you can tell the price. This being $145, and the other ones are being $1,200. Should be a clear giveaway. But what do you think about that? These people that use stock photos and don't actually take the pictures.
I think that's just lazy. I think that they should. I mean, it also goes right up there with sellers who don't even use photos. When they say like mint in box, even though it's been open, but they don't take a picture, or they show you what's in the box. I don't like that. I mean, it doesn't take that much to take some really authentic photos. If you really want to sell your product, I would do that. To me, that just seems you're just lazy. You're just putting it out there, wanting to sell it, get done with it, wash your hands of it, type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're selling a transformer and let's say one loose, you cannot give me a reason to not take pictures of it in each transformation. If it's a triple changer, I need all three modes.
Hmm.
If it's just whatever Optimus Prime or let's say one easier than that. Let's say Blur, I need to see it in robot mode. I need to see it in its little alt mode. Both modes. Don't just give me one, and don't give me the I don't know much about these. I found these in the attic, whatever. And then we go look at your items for sale, and you've got like nothing but Transformers on there.
Yeah.
So
I'm not an expert, so I don't really know how this works and stuff, but
you did
okay.
enough to find out what the robot's name was. Just do a little bit extra and find out how to transform the guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on, we got a third party on here. I was trying to find some good deals on third parties, but everyone was wanting more than what they originally cost, and some of them were wanting some stupid money, like this guy or girl. $1,000 for Quake Wave.
Wow.
Yeah, it says 13 sold and 2 available. Now, here's the funny thing about this is from about 2:30 this morning until about 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, I was pulling all the stuff up so we could take a look at it for the show. They only had one, and I think I pulled this up at around like 3 or something like that. They only had one in stock or one available at that time, and since then it has jumped up to 2. So I think this whole 13 sold, I think that's absolutely BS. The fact that they're wanting $1,000, I mean, if this is true, 13 people really bought that. I got one. I've got the box. It's in great shape. I will sell it for $900 right now. I will ship it to you for free. I mean, that's a bargain.
That is a bargain.
I will let it go. You can even probably talk me down from there as well. In fact, I know you could. So, and I love Quake Wave. I think he's the best third-party figure to date.
Mm-hmm.
He's not worth no $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where people get their prices at times. It's just like they just get it out of just random thin air. They just decide, that's a good round number. And it's a buy now. It's not even to make me an offer or anything. It's just...
Why is he going to put the make me an offer up there when 13 people have bought him already? He's only got 2 left. So.
Yeah.
Well, what if it's the only one on eBay? I know we've brought this up, this is the 3rd time we brought this up in like 7 episodes, but I absolutely love the fact that it's still on eBay. The guy has not changed his approach. This is the 1985 Takara's Transformer Jet Decepticon G1 variation, very rare, only one on eBay. This is what I'm talking about. This is way too much crap on here.
Yeah. This is like becoming our mascot for the show.
It is the mascot for the show.
It's this guy right here.
Because I'm looking at the name here. It says Fanish Fort Resell. So they accidentally put a T in there. Oh, well. But it's very rare, and it's a variation. This is the, because back in G1, this was the prototype for the male version of Windblade. It was, Windblade was originally, she was originally going to be a male and be a Decepticon. This was the prototype. Don't you remember that, Jaim?
No, not really. I don't remember that, but
unfortunately, over the 30 years, it's lost, quite a bit of its parts.
It's seen some rough times.
Hey, it's 15% off too. So, the funny part about this is this person actually believes that this is some type of super rare, transformer. When all it is Skywarp's body with the rest wings attached to it. We make fun. This is this is the 3rd time we made fun of it. So people that watch this show, whenever we put up episodes, they're like, "Yeah, we've heard it before." But if you haven't, then this is definitely one to go check out. Why isn't this going back? I think that's my favorite thing on eBay.
Yeah, it is. It is nice to find stuff that people want to, you know, sell. That it's like, okay, so you just went to a flea market, found a whole bunch of parts, and decided to put it together, and I
Now,
think
like
this is rare.
now, like we were saying earlier, some of the people that are like, yeah, I found just box of toys and stuff in my attic and not really sure what's going on. I would believe them. I'm not gonna believe someone else that has like 50 Transformers and all their correct names and stuff like that. So we'll move on to the next thing. Now, here's Six Night, and like we kind of discussed with Galaxy Shuttle, this is whatever they say rare, and it's one of those more unique figures. I mean, there's not as many as there are others,
Hmm.
but it doesn't come with its weapons.
Yeah.
And 225 plus 10, so 235 total. And I think that this is going to be one of those situations. They got more pictures down here that you're not going to be able to find its weapons. It's going to be really hard to find his guns. And
Yeah.
whenever you do, they're probably going to cost you an arm and a leg. So you might as well just wait till you find this guy 100% complete and buy it then, because you'll probably even get out cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. If you're thinking about getting this, you just want a quick fix and just have something on the shelf, and or you're just going to use, let's say, quick switches weapons, or buy quick switches weapons and paint them yourself. But yeah, your best bet is, because you're never going to probably find those weapons separate. You're going to probably end up finding it with another Six Nights. So then you're going to end up having two. And I mean,
But it
unless you
makes
can,
this useless in buying them.
yeah, unless, I mean, you might be able to recoup a little bit of your money later on and get something. But yeah, it's hard because it's also a left and right gun. It's not just the exact. I mean, they're exact same mold, but again, they're left and right. So you have to keep that in mind. You can't just get two lefts and all that. And they are part of the whole transformation. So
Yeah,
um,
you can see that like some of these look really bad, like the little animal here. I forgot what
mhm,
it is. Was it a
the
pimp or
gun,
something?
it's not
It's
even a
supposed to be
gun.
his
It's a
tail, right?
drill. Yeah, it's supposed to be his tail for that, or you can put him on for shoulder cannons too, but it's for his tail. The gun now doesn't have a gun. It's just a gun drill, like I guess just a drill
It looks
if
like
you
something
want.
you'd find at like the dollar store for like $2 back in the 80s.
Hmm.
Yes,
So
I really think that it's one of those things again that you really need him to complete it, otherwise it's not going to look right. And it's also one of those situations that it's just going to cost you so much money to complete later on down the line. Now,
yeah.
even by itself like this, is it even worth 225 or 235?
It just depends. I mean, if you really want the character, I mean, he is kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I paid less money for mine that is complete with box, and but that was like 3 years ago. But still, I think you can get it for a better price than that, complete.
And what do you think about this? You have this one, the
Hmm.
Road Caesar 1500. I mean, I guess the $11 is kind of where did they come up with the 13 cents there? Can they just not round it off? But
I don't know.
1500, I think that that's steep for this as well. It doesn't look like he comes with his boxes. No,
No. Yeah, that's a little too steep, I think.
I've seen them, mint in box before. I don't remember if they were sealed or not, but they were 100% complete. They look great. The boxes look good, and I think that they were going for like 3 or 350 shipped a piece.
Hmm.
So I mean, it was under $1,000, or it might have been like $900, and I still thought that was a little much.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the victory stuff has gone up in price. I remember when you could get this guy for 300 bucks total for all of them. And now a good price would be, you're looking at, I'd say, six complete, 6 or 7 to get them.
About 200 a piece. Now, do
Yeah.
do you recommend? It'd probably be cheaper if you bought them overall as a set, like all three of them together.
Hmm.
Um, Now, did this come in a gift set? I know they came individually in packaged, like in boxes, but did this come as a set as well?
Yes.
It did.
Yeah.
So there's two different ways that you can go about buying it. Is one
Hmm.
more rare than the other?
Um, I see more of the individuals than the gift set.
Yeah.
So. It's just like with Dino King, I see more of the gift set than them individually. And then with Lyle Kaiser, I definitely see the gift set more than them individually. So it's kind of like the reverse, but yeah, you know, either way. And then you also have to remember there's the motivators that came out in Europe that don't have the combiner parts, and they are redecoed a little bit. So
Okay, a little bit different.
yeah,
Speaking of Lil Kaiser and them being a little, there's parts for Road Caesar being a little bit different. It's kind of the same thing here where you have the UK Rescue Force where they use part of Leo Kaiser there.
yeah,
Now, I think we've looked at this before as well, but again, we haven't done this in over a month, and I don't know when we brought these things up. They're asking for 155, shipping, and they're giving a 20% discount. They were asking 190. Do you think that that's about a decent price for these guys? Now, they're not going to have the other two members either, so you're not going to be able to do any type of combining with them. And that kind of takes, to me, that takes away the value.
yeah. For me, I think it's a little steep, but if you're a kind of that, I don't know, like a collector that wants everything or variations of things, and it's not too bad. But again, you're not going to get the combiner parts. I mean, this isn't like an Autobot version of Lao Kaiser because you're not going to find a Hellbat. You're not going to get a Guy-Hawk because the molds were lost. And so you're kind of stuck with these guys. And they don't even have names. They're just generic.
Yeah, even the
figures.
cards, it's the same dude here on the front, I think, that you've pointed out before.
Yeah. So they're cool. I mean, they're authentic, but yeah, they're just kind of generic type of stuff that's just they threw out there.
And we'll take a look at this real quick. We're going to be finishing up here soon. So as far as the Triptychon build, we'll probably get on that. Another episode. Maybe do another build as well. These are unique. These little G1 Japanese Dino cassettes here. Now these actually are rare. They're wanting $230 for these. I don't know how to price these, so I really don't see these that often.
Yeah, these are rare. They're up there with like Blue Bacchus and Black Shadow. I think a little bit more. The authentic ones. The reissues are really good quality, and I think these are reissues. But the originals are extremely expensive, and it's cool that they can combine with each other. But they don't really look good in their combined mode, in my opinion. But they are really expensive.
Most of them don't. What was the other one? Skydancer or something like that. And I forgot the red tanks. But then you also had Beastbox and Squawk Talk. Like none of those really look that great. I thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah, are these the actual? Were those the KOs? I'm just curious.
Oh,
Because if they're not, then 230 is a really decent price. Yeah, they're the remakes. Yeah,
okay, remake them.
So, all right.
I think the Authentic's about to get on.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I'll be right back. I gotta pick those up.
This is an Argentina card. Like we said, that there was a lot of companies, and you see Intex. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but Argentina was one of the countries that used several different distributors, and this was obviously one of them. And there you got your Cliff Jumper, and he's white.
Mm-hmm.
Displayed by a gold Cliff Jumper with a red Cliff Jumper on the packaging, so it's all over the place. And this is one that I wanted to point out that I really do like this seller a lot, because look at all the pictures that they took. That you might have questions here. Let's turn on the light and focus on that, so you can see if there's any like little scuff or swirl marks. Now, without the light focused in on it, so you can kind of get an overall idea of what it would look like on your shelf. A little bit of the glue is coming undone right there. They took a picture close up for you there. Even made sure that they pointed it out. These are the type of eBay sellers that I love doing business with.
Mm-hmm.
That they take as many pictures as they can. Here's a look from the side so you can see that. I mean, I have no doubt that you know, I know exactly what I'm getting into if I decided to buy this from this guy.
Yeah.
And I see the way he does this, I'm pretty confident it's going to be that way across the board with everything he sells.
Well, and you can tell he's a collector.
Oh yeah, look at him taking the, picture like that. So that's when I wanted to pull him up. Let's see, there's one thing on this page, but let me see what's on this one real quick. Oh yeah, it's a rare vintage Omega Supreme. I mean, it's missing all its crap, so it's missing part of the shuttle part. It's missing like 3 of the tracks. It's probably missing the back leg connectors too. Yeah, it's missing all 4 back leg connectors. So
$285. Free
I
shipping.
know. I was like, God, that's such an expensive price.
Yeah.
All right, the last little thing that we'll take a look at, wherever it's at, and we only have to go to this seller because that's pretty much all they had, is mint and seal box. These are reissues, and I don't believe all they say is reissue. They don't say anything about it being a KO. So no information about it being a KO, but Jaim, would you like to tell them why it's obviously a KO?
1, it didn't come in a packaging like that. 2, it was a mail away. And 3, it was never reissued.
Bam.
So there you
go. Let's see the items for sale real quick. We'll just put in Transformers G1. Now, this looks authentic, yeah, but that's expensive.
Yeah.
That's KO, that's KO, that's KO, that's KO, that's KO. Those are KOs.
Yeah.
Those are KOs. I mean, now one of the easy ways to even identify some of this stuff is, one, you got to know what's been reissued and what hasn't been reissued, and is it commemorative series? Is it some type of Toys R Us reissue? Is it an encore? If it has been reissued, what kind is it? Because there's going to be packaging that goes with that type of reissue. They're all different. There's the car collection, so I mean, there's tons of it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe on all the reissues, none of them have this top flap. They're just boxes.
Yeah.
If they were to make it, so let's say they did come out with a Blitzwing, and they are coming out with a Blitzwing. Is it Blitzwing and Astro Train 2-pack for Platinum?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's obviously going to be a little bit different. But let's say if it was just Blitzwing on his own, and they wanted to do it like G1 style packaging like this, it would not have the flap on there. So easy giveaway, flap, KO, flap, KO, flap, KO.
And it would be in a plastic clamshell, not a plastic thing stuck to a cardboard backing.
Oh yeah, the reissue, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this. They do have one thing on here. It's authentic. Want too much for it, but. All right. Well, did you have any comments or anything before we end the show?
We got one from Mini Figure Collector.
Hey, what's up, man?
He says, I agree with you. There should be subcategories like Auto Trader.
I'm a genius, man. I think it would solve so many problems.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you want to have KO stuff on there, then you even put KOs on there, because we know there's enough of them. Half the stuff, whenever you pull up Transformers G1, half the page is Generations, and then out of the other stuff that is G1, like probably 30% of that is KOs. You're left with a very small percentage that are actually Transformer G1 figures. Jamie, there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Your picture disappeared. So, all right. Well, you want to go ahead and tell people about the shows and where they can find us and stuff like that?
Yeah. We have 2 shows coming up on this Saturday. We have the Cybercast on G1 Hextron's channel at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Our guest this week will be Pete Sinclair, going to give us some reveals and talk about BotCon and Transformers Collectors Club and stuff like that. And then we also have the Aftercast, which is on my channel on Saturday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can find me, Victory Saber 77, on YouTube and Twitter.
And you can find me, G1 Hextron, on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and my Facebook page, the G1 Hextron. If you like the show or you'd like to see it, something specific that you'd like to see us do on it, or build a figure, which we'll probably get into, maybe building a Triptychon or something like that for the next show. Let us know in the comments, and that's what we'll try to work to. Want to make sure that this is entertaining and informative as possible, and just kind of hanging out, chilling, looking on eBay for stuff that just a little too rich for our blood. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoy. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
All right. See ya.